Let's talk about The Crew 2. The Crew 2 is coming out in 2018, early 2018. Exactly when, we still don't know, but we do know that a beta is on the way soon, which I signed up for, and I highly suggest that you sign up for it as well. However, they've been a lot more showy, in terms of like gameplay and stuff. And in comparison to Need for Speed Payback, we don't know much. We haven't seen much gameplay of Need for Speed Payback, but we've seen tons of gameplay from the Crew 2, and I feel like they really should, because Need for Speed sort of has this thing where they can they have the ability to just hide it back and get everyone hyped. But the Crew 2, they really need to show it off, or people really won't be sure about it until much on. People will be a lot more skeptical. But I'm glad they're showing off this gameplay because I am hyped for the Crew 2. Like the Crew 1 was a very rocky roller coaster for me. I loved it at first, then I became very disappointed with it. Then when Wild Run came out, I loved it again, and then with Calling All Units, they broke it. So the Crew sadly ended on a sour note, but hopefully it won't be as much as a rocky roller coaster as the Crew 1 was. Hopefully the Crew 2, they have a more set solution of what they want to do, because with the Crew 1, I feel like they didn't really know what they wanted to do with it, and I feel like the Crew 2, they're going for more of the Wild Run type vibe, more of the festival-ish thing, which I like. Forza Horizon 1 did that well. And if the Crew 2 can do it well, then that's good. But I'm still a bit skeptical on some of the things. Now, I do like flying the planes and the boats. They do seem cool. The racing itself, like the track racing, that looks very interesting as well. I'm definitely going to get into that. But the thing I'm most excited for is the street racing. That's probably what I'm the hype the most about. But from when I talk about street racing, I'm talking about illegal street racing. Because the Crew 2's street racing it looks like it's organized and all that. It looks like it's part of like this event and stuff. That's the vibe I'm getting from the street racing, because there's barriers everywhere, TV cameras. In one of the trailers gameplays, there was a helicopter following you, but it wasn't a police helicopter. It was like a TV helicopter for like a TV show or something. Like, it's giving me a lot of Test Drive Unlimited 2 vibes, because that's what the story of Test Drive Unlimited 2 was about. So I wonder if they're going to do that, because I honestly doubt cops are going to come after you when you're actually racing. I know that there's going to be cops in there. It'd be really dumb to not have cops in the Crew 2, because, I mean, even in the trailer, we saw a bunch of cops chasing a car in the Golden Gate Bridge. So what I really want to talk about today is the cops and, like, what the actual, like, premise of the street racing is going to be, and what I kind of, like, would like to see in the Crew 2, because with the Crew 1, I felt like with the story, there just wasn't enough racing. They focused too much on the actual, like, the action shit, where you had to take people down, and you had to, like, smash crates and all that shit. Now, I'm not against that. I like the idea of having to take people down and all that stuff, and, like, those missions, but your basis should be racing. If you're a racing game, it should be about racing. And that's where the Crew 1 kind of failed to deliver on that part, especially with the campaign. I mean, you had PvP, you had faction missions, but there just wasn't enough. There weren't that many places where you could just take your car and race it against AI. You just couldn't do that. You could take your car and put in against PvP. If it wasn't a LaFerrari, it just wasn't winning. I'm sorry, that's how it is in PvP. So hopefully they balance that. First off, in PvP they need to balance PvP, like, really. Yeah, they really need to balance PvP. I hope that there's just more of an emphasis on actual racing and less of an emphasis on going around smashing crates and, you know, taking down people. I doubt there's gonna be any takedown missions, because this is more of a family friendly vibe, a more Forza Horizon vibe. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. I'm not saying it's a bad vibe, I'm just saying that's the vibe I'm getting from it. And I feel like cops are going to take even more of a back seat than they did in the first Crew, because the cops really didn't do anything. I mean, there were some missions where you had to escape them, but other than that, they never came at you when you were racing, which is a shame, because I like cops in races. And then they didn't really do much until Calling All Units, and Calling All Units just kind of broke the cop system even more. So that's not good. So hopefully they have more the cops the way they were in the Crew before Calling All Units, although I would like to see, like, the PvP aspect where there's team of cops and a team of racers. I feel like if they implement that into the main game without, like, making it DLC, like the cop side of things, I feel like that part of that aspect of the game could be really good. like you can have like PvP, like these, you can have the crates and all that stuff, but it has to be part of the main game, like a main aspect of the game. You can't just lock it off as DLC, or else nobody's gonna buy it. I mean, look at Calling on You. It's barely anybody has the DLC, and barely anyone's a cop. I'm usually the only cop chasing people in that game at times, and it's a shame. If they have that as free, then you know more people are gonna be doing that, and that PvP aspect is gonna flourish because you'll have people like that. So if they can implement the cops in that, to the Crew 2 in that sort of way, I'd be fine. But then you have the PvP, the PvE aspect of cops, where they're the AI and stuff like that. I would like to see that as well, separated from Calling All Units. Like the weapons and all that are cool, but they definitely need to implement it better. And the way the physics are looking, the physics look a lot better in the Crew 2 than they do in the first Crew. So that's a good thing. So hopefully they can implement a better system for the police PvP if they decide to do that, instead of just riding alongside the person you're chasing for 7 seconds and then that's when you bust them. That's not how it really should work, and that's very unrealistic because you can get busted if you're doing 200 miles plus. As long as the cops next to you is side by side for you for 7 seconds, you're done. And with the physics though in the Crew 2, I feel like so far that it could be improved. I don't know how they are or how they feel. I've never played the game yet. Hopefully I'm able to when the beta comes out, but I'm not sure right now if it's good or not. It's like that's like people complaining about Need for Speed Payback's handling, even though they haven't played the fucking game, you know. I can't really judge that. But also with the Crew 2, customization, also, they haven't shown off much customization. And I'm wondering if that's taking a backseat as well, because with the Crew 1, they had sort of bragging rights. So where they could like say, oh hey, we have customization. Does Need for Speed does it? Does Need for Speed have that? And Need for Speed really didn't at the time. No other real racing game out at that time had customization aside from the Crew. I mean, yes, it was pretty limited. A lot of it was samey, and the menus were clustered. That's one thing. They need to uncluster fuck the menus, because a lot of the bumpers and shit look the same. You're not sure which one you're looking at and all that. It was just very confusing with the first Crew. With the second Crew, however, maybe they can organize it better, like Need for Speed's doing that and all that. But they haven't shown off anything about customization, so I'm guessing it's just gonna be like the same from the first Crew. Nothing really to show off with it. And I've seen some more name brands also, like Red Bull and all that. They're in. Now, Red Bull's not a customization company, but, you know, it's not an aftermarket company. But still, if they're getting companies like Red Bull, and maybe they might get companies like Rocket Bunny or all that in. I'm not sure if they will or not, but, you know, I doubt they're gonna, because they focused more on the planes, the boats, and all that, and redesigning the map and all that stuff. They focused more on that aspect than the customization, probably, which I don't mind. I don't really customize I'm not one to really customize my cars too much. Like, if a body kit complements a car, I'll put it on, but most of the time, I don't really like body kits that much, and that's just me. Like, I'm just not really, I like keeping my stuff more stock than anything. And that's just how I roll. But for people who like big customization, there should be a good amount of customization. And if I don't like a bumper or something on a car, I should be able to switch it. Like, I want to be able to do stuff like have at least a basic amount of customization. Just have at least the same amount of customization in the Crew 2 as you had in the Crew 1. If they take away customization, that's just stupid. Like, with the map, it's probably going to be the same. There's probably going to be tweaks everywhere to, like, the rivers and stuff like that, so boats can drive through. They probably need to make it so you can get from one side of the map, from one ocean to the other in a boat. They probably want to be able to do that. And with planes, with the Crew 1, you have to discover the entire map by driving through it. With the Crew 2, you could probably just fly through the entire map and get through the nooks and crannies and stuff and discover the map. Which, it makes me wonder if they planned for all this, because I just found it weird that all, like, the major cities had airports and stuff like that. Like, I just found that weird that they had them in. Like, airports are cool and all. I don't know, like, I just thought they were places for drag racing, but now they serve more of a bigger purpose because we have planes now. So maybe they were thinking about the planes and boats and all that stuff. Maybe that was what they were thinking about all along. So that's probably what they were planning, and that's probably why. But overall, with the Crew 2, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I would like to see some more police gameplay. Hopefully, when the beta comes out, I'll be able to try that out. I'm not sure when that's happening, though. But other than that, the only two things that really concern me are not the planes, the police chases, because where are those? I want to see what those are like, and the what's it called, the street racing, yeah. And with the one thing about the police chases, again, I don't want them to have the weapons and all that. That's just I mean, with the PvP maybe, but with the PvE against cops, I really don't like that. and I don't really like that. Just feels too Need for Speed Hot Pursuity, and the crew's more different. Like, you know what I mean? The police system worked better before colonies than it does after colonies, at least in my opinion. But that is all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more, be sure to yeah, subscribe, like, favorite, star this video, rate this video 5 stars. You can't do that anymore. And if you want to join in the conversations with the crew too, be sure to join the Reddit for the crew too, because yeah, that's a pretty good place. But that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Have a good one.